Hey, what's up? It's Randy from Lamb of God, and you're watching Loudwire.
I want to talk about your turnaround personally, from when you were hitting the bottle pretty hard, and stuff that people have seen documented in like the Philadelphia DVD.
Yeah, and they, on that, you saw one night.
Yeah.
And you saw one highly edited version
Really?
of that night, and you don't see everything that happened before that. And the fact of the matter is that like people have this idea that like that's some sort of anomaly that dudes would get drunk and act stupid and fight outside a tour bus. That happens in every band.
It does. It really, really does.
Just most people don't document it and make a DVD out of it.
Most people didn't really have cameras. If you look back at the history of rock, not many cameras were there.
The history of rock is full of stupid, drunken shenanigans. So with that qualifying thing, I was a garden variety drunk for 22 years, and I got sober about 5 years ago.
Yes. I also remember maybe another isolated incident. I remember the show Battle for Ozzfest. You guys were playing Ozzfest, and there was one of the people who was competing on the show came out on your stage, and you were like making him do jumping jacks and stuff.
I terrified him.
Yes, you did. I think he was wearing a diaper or underwear or something.
It was severe abuse.
Yeah, and then there was a part where you're like, if you see this guy out here, destroy him, like stuff like that. Stuff that didn't paint you as the nicest guy. But then
I'm not the nicest guy.
Really?
Yeah.
I find you nice. But I was wondering, you've since getting off the bottle and stuff, people talk extremely highly of you, and people have become
because I don't behave like an animal so much anymore.
True, and you've become like a notoriously nice person.
I am a nice guy. Honestly, I am a nice guy.
And
I was a nice guy before. I wasn't. That's the whole thing. Is I wasn't always an asshole. But that doesn't make for good TV, does it?
No.
So they're not going to film the guy who has a couple of beers and doesn't catch anything on fire and doesn't get in. It wasn't like 24 hours a day. I was like, fuck everyone.
Yeah.
That's not the truth.
Sure.
But there were some, sparkling moments that made it into history.
So with all that, my question is, what do you think the perception of the Czech Arrest would have been if you hadn't made that turnaround, or if you hadn't been perceived as an incredibly nice person?
Well, that's a good question. But it's really, that's a good question. I mean, you mean the perception here?
The perception of when people heard about that you had been arrested. Because originally...
You mean the perception here in America?
Here in America. Of the metalheads who went immediately, there's no way he did it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, being known as a loose cannon, I mean, I think it's, there is like, okay, yeah, the dude's like a loose cannon, but it's also like you're dealing with a situation in which it's a metal show and things are crazy, and most people who aren't from our scene might look at stage diving or something or slam dancing and moshing and be like, those people are messed up, they're trying to kill each other. And it was only a matter of time until what happened with me happened to somebody.
The period of time when you were there in the Czech Republic, I would imagine that amount of time felt like it went by very slowly. So with that in mind, has the last 2 years felt incredibly fast?
Well, I mean, any time feels like hyperspeed compared to prison time. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, sure.
Have you ever been arrested?
I've been in a hospital for a while.
That doesn't count.
Damn it! I've never been arrested. No.
Not even the drunk tank. Not even the night.
No.
That will be the longest 8 hours you'll ever spend.
Yeah, trying to get I don't want to spend time.
No, you don't want. It's not a nice place. So, like, I mean, I think it hasn't felt like really fast. It's just felt really busy because, in fact, it has been very busy.
It has, yeah.
You know?
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. I've never really, you ask interesting questions. It doesn't feel like things have been moving very fast. It just seems like a lot of things have been moving. You know, a lot of pieces of a machine are moving all at once.
Yeah. And last thing about that whole thing. When you were there, when you're here, how did the photography and the writing, how did it help you get through the moments of your trial and then the moments beyond the trial? Because I would think that maybe there would be some sort of post-traumatic stress.
You know, all that kind of ties in, you know, and I wrote about that at the end of my book as well. I think people were expecting some sort of post-traumatic stress, or some people wanted to, like, a big Hollywood like ending, you know, like this moment of like, oh, he has this realization and all this other stuff, which is just horseshit, you know. And the fact of the matter is that, like, I kind of woke up when I stopped killing myself with alcohol.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So by the time I went to prison and went through all that stuff and went to trial, I was just trying to do the right thing, continue on the same path. So it wasn't really like this learned lesson or anything, you know. It was more like just a reaffirmation that I was doing the right thing. But as far as like photography, like particularly during the trial period, it helped me a great deal, because it's a very strange thing to be in a country, a foreigner in a country, and be like the top news story and be accused of killing a citizen of that country, and to have certain aspects of their press, not all the Czech press treated me horribly, but some of it did, have certain aspects of their press demonize you, you know, and say you are like just the worst thing since Attila the Hun to come to Europe, right? So during the day, I often didn't cruise around a lot in Prague.
Oh,
because like I'm kind of recognizable, and I didn't. And when people did recognize me, everybody was super cool. Nobody fucked with me. But I went out at night a lot. I would walk. Well, also during the day, I'm preparing for the trial, doing work. But I went out at night a lot and shot a whole lot at night in the Czech Republic, because Prague, it's like. Have you been to Prague?
I haven't. I would love to.
It's a gorgeous city.
Yeah.
Unbelievably gorgeous. I fell in love with it, despite the fact that I was there for a really shitty reason. But at night, it's like, it looks like, you know, a movie director made it for like the scene of a vampire movie or something. It's incredible.
There have been a few vampire movies shot in Prague, I think.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. It's incredible looking. So like, getting out and taking pictures and appreciating what's around me. You know, appreciating the beauty of the Czech Republic, it helped me not to be bitter as to why I'm there, because being bitter, what good is it going to do?
I'll eat at you.
Yeah, it'll just eat at you. And it helped me, like, appreciate what is around me, you know, like, okay, this is a beautiful place. I might as well try and do something good with my time here and appreciate it rather than resent it.
Are you allowed to go back?
Yeah, I can go anywhere I want.
Beautiful.